dwarf.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, how badly did Disney's new Snow White flop after all?
I seriously didn't know that things got this bad for this Rachel Zegler Snow White movie, but I'm reading this right now, and I'm worried about Rachel Zegler's career. I don't see how she comes back from...
Every time she speaks, she gets less likable.
She's now bragging about the success of Snow White, which is a movie that's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and mainly because of her, and because nobody wanted to support her.
Doesn't need a prince to save her, and not surrounded by 7 weird people. Oh, okay, just CGI fictional goblins, I guess.
There are empty theaters all around the country. We are now at a 1 out of 10 on IMDb for the new Snow.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Controversy around the film began ever since we learned that there would be no Prince Charming because apparently he kissed her without consent, and also no woman needs a man to rescue her. The movie also used CGI for the 7 dwarfs rather than actors because they thought using real people would be offensive.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged. I don't think they're going to buy it. I don't think they're going to watch it. I don't think they're going to like it.
But Rachel Zegler made it so hateable that you really sabotaged and took hundreds of millions of dollars from the studio. I don't know how anyone would ever want to go into business with her ever.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
Yeah, we had more dwarfs than we did viewers in most of these theaters. And as you know, there were no dwarfs other than some CGI weird generated version of them.
And if she hadn't have opened her mouth, I think that this movie might have done well. They might have just been able to ride on the hopium of the movie and some well-cut trailers, and people would have paid to go see it. And then it would have fallen off when people knew it was garbage.
This truly is the worst casting, maybe, in the history of the film industry.
Disney's Bob Iger says their mission is to entertain, not send messaging as Snow White sales compete for worst performing live-action Disney adaptation.
You know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
Do you know, how hard it is to find an attractive young woman in Hollywood who can act and sing? It's not hard. Who just isn't going to offend half the country.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed. She's unhappy. The reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable human beings. I would highly advise that you boycott this film, no matter how much your children love.
Spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had. Don't alienate half of the country when you're putting out a product meant to appeal to all. It's the Michael Jordan Republicans buy sneakers too.
Some of you want us to hire actual dwarf humans, and then we thought we would have CGI magical creatures. How about this? We'll still offend the dwarves, but we'll CGI.
If you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. He didn't write it. He didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White.
Right.
You should shut up.
Every one of the 18 hours I am in this Snow White dress, I expect to get paid. If it's 18 hours, I want 18 hours of pay. I'm sure she got underpaid as a Disney
few lessons for Disney. Number one, stop cannibalizing all your old IP. Like, it's really bad. It's really bad business. Number two, please stop changing all of the historic plots, which actually have meaning to generations of people, to instead become generic woke story about how woman leads revolutionary uprising and she don't need no.
Depth and relatability to the princess, reflecting a more contemporary vision of femininity and empowerment. On the other hand, there are those who feel that her interpretation clashes with the essence of the original Snow White, a character who has traditionally embodied innocence, kindness, and purity. These opposing viewpoints have created a social media storm, with passionate fans defending both sides of the argument. Moreover, Zegler's criticisms of the screenplay itself, which she claims takes significant liberties with the original narrative, have only fueled the fire. Some argue that her perspective may be indicative of a larger trend of rewriting classic stories in ways that challenge the very core of what made them timeless in the first place. As her comments continue to make waves, Zegler now finds herself at the eye of a storm, navigating a delicate balancing act between staying true to her artistic vision and addressing the concerns of fans who feel that the magic of Snow White has been compromised. This controversy over her portrayal of Snow White is not just a debate over one character, but a broader conversation about the tension between tradition and innovation in modern storytelling. It's a story that continues to unfold, with Zegler at the forefront of this pivotal moment in Disney's history. Some fans feel her sentiments regarding the original being outdated, were disrespectful of the film's past, especially as it played such an important role in Disney's beginnings.
Lowest live-action remake opening ever. Let me say that again. Ever.
I mean, look at this. Snow White crashes 70% in second weekend.
Popular comment even quipped that she treats Disney like a fashion sponsor, arriving, modeling, then leaving. While it might be overstated, it shows growing audience unhappiness. And if you think that's dramatic, stick around.
So that's it. 163,000 rating, of which it got 1.6, not out of 5. Like, you know, sometimes you go to McDonald's, it's 1.6 out of 5.
Yeah.
1.6 out of 10.
Because once more, look at this right here. This movie has crashed in the second week that it's been out. 70%.
Disney has received criticism for creative judgments previously, but this issue seems to have hit a deeper nerve. Online reviews have varied from disappointment to frustration, with many calling the film's direction tonally off and far from the spirit of the original. For a corporation built on ageless storytelling, that's a tough position to be in. Early evaluations from test audiences weren't flattering either. Some described it as visually unorganized or uneven in tone, more like a succession of clips than a continuous narrative. That's a huge cry from the 1937 classic that starred
$250 million. They had the whole dwarf midget issue where they decided they weren't going to have any midget actors, right? They were having DEI-inspired magical creatures to replace.
I remember back in 2023 when this was going on and all the little people making videos saying, well, wait, there's so few roles for us in Hollywood. We're being passed over for this. You could have cast.
Started the Disney brand. Instead of slowing down and recalibrating, reports say Disney proceeded production and marketing full steam ahead, expecting the strength of the brand would carry the project. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked out as expected. The film's budget reputedly reached $250 million, and early box office figures aren't reaching expectations. Critics have complimented the direction, tone, and performances, while social media commentary has been relentless, with some users sarcastically describing the movie as an algorithm-directed fever dream.
Not be in love or be saved by a man, the prince, that she's more focused on becoming the leader she was meant to be, as if women in modern-day America...
Even the lighter components, including musical numbers and visual design, have generated criticism. And the absence of popular characters like Prince Charming hasn't gone forgotten either. The empowerment themes, while important, feel, to some, like they were imposed without any depth or storytelling balance. The situation deepened when tapes of Zegler discussing the film leaked, including statements where she thought the initial idea seemed weird, or that she should have been paid for wearing the attire. Comments like that haven't landed well with followers of the traditional narrative. While others say that the criticism is overdone or possibly purposeful, the reality is this casting and marketing blitz produced more attention than expected, and not always the sort studios hope for. Now, sources say that there are internal concerns at Disney. From rumored reshoots to modified marketing approach, the studio appears to be in response mode. Industry sources have even hinted at internal worries and potential shakeups should the picture fail substantially. Behind closed doors, the controversy surrounding Disney's Snow White project has reportedly led some colleagues to refer to the effort by less than flattering nicknames, with speculation swirling about the growing tension within the company.
You told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
People have real problems and no one gives a if she got paid for 17 instead of 18 on her multi-million-dollar salary, which is not calculated by...
Whether these behind-the-scenes comments are exaggerated or based on truth, the fact remains that the pressure is mounting on Disney. The debate has become more than just a dispute about one film. It has evolved into a broader crisis that is casting a shadow over the company's reputation. The issue has not only strained relationships within the studio, but has also triggered a public examination of the choices Hollywood is making in terms of creative direction. Zooming out,
be a leader as a female and fall in love and be rescued by a prince, like that's incongruous bull. That's only the left's version of what it means to be a strong woman or female empowerment.
Our rights are on the line, folks. Our reproductive rights. Come on.
Go get Cheshire Cat.
Go vote blue. And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button.
Wow, what a scene.
I don't need your business.
So she just encapsulates everything that most of us cannot stand about modern day feminism and the left in general.
This controversy now represents a much wider conversation about the entertainment industry at large. Snow White is no longer just about the reimagining of one beloved story. It has become a symbol of a larger trend in Hollywood, the relentless cycle of reboots and remakes. This raises the crucial question: has Hollywood become too dependent on revisiting old material instead of fostering fresh, original ideas? Are studios prioritizing the safe bet of familiar stories over the risk and innovation that come with original storytelling? The issue also brings to the forefront a more profound and increasingly relevant question. In an age of diverse audiences and shifting cultural landscapes, are film studios focusing more on delivering specific messages or ticking certain boxes than on creating narratives that genuinely captivate, entertain, and engage? This is no longer just about one film or one casting choice. It's about the future of filmmaking itself. The question now becomes whether Hollywood will continue down the path of easy reboots and reimaginings, or whether it will pivot back to creating original, groundbreaking content that pushes the boundaries of storytelling. As the debate intensifies, the entertainment industry finds itself at a crossroads, with its direction uncertain and the stakes higher than ever. This controversy is forcing Hollywood to take a hard look at what truly matters in filmmaking: artistic integrity, the value of storytelling, and the importance of innovation in an ever-changing world. Audiences seem to be begging for truth, balance, and a return to what made these classics timeless in the first place. There's a clear demand for decent people, significant updates, and respect for source material, not merely quick repairs or headline-driven stories.
Their mission is to entertain, not send messaging as Snow White sales compete for worst performing live action.
So, what's the ultimate takeaway from all of this? When it comes to upgrading a cherished classic, honoring its legacy is paramount. A story that has stood the test of time and captured the hearts of millions over generations deserves more than just a superficial makeover. It requires a thoughtful approach that respects the core elements that made it so beloved in the first place. Whether it's the characters, the themes, or the emotional resonance, the essence of the original must not be lost in the pursuit of innovation. If Hollywood is to successfully reimagine these timeless tales, it must tread carefully, balancing the need for freshness with the responsibility to preserve what audiences hold dear. Secondly, when promoting a film, particularly one based on a nostalgic or iconic story, engaging authentically with a fan base is absolutely crucial. The relationship between studios and their audiences has never been more transparent, thanks to the power of social media and the interconnectedness of today's world. Fans are no longer passive recipients of marketing. They are vocal, passionate, and deeply invested in the stories that shaped their childhoods. Ignoring their feedback or failing to acknowledge their concerns is not only a missed opportunity, it's a recipe for disaster. Building and maintaining trust with the audience should be at the forefront of any promotional strategy, especially when venturing into the delicate territory of beloved classics. In this case, Disney's handling of Snow White's reimagining has proven that fan engagement is a two-way street, and neglecting to honor their emotional connection to the original narrative can have significant consequences. But perhaps the most important lesson here is that audiences are yearning for something fresh, something new. After years of reboots, sequels, and franchise-driven content, the appetite for original, bold stories has never been greater. There's a growing sense that the industry has become overly reliant on recycling old ideas instead of taking creative risks. The entertainment landscape is shifting, and viewers want to see films that challenge their expectations, offer new perspectives, and break free from the predictability of formulaic storytelling. This is an opportunity for Hollywood to tap into untapped creativity, explore uncharted territories, and reintroduce the magic of storytelling that doesn't come from regurgitated plots or recycled content. If you want to be updated on how this evolves, use the subscribe button and join the conversation in the comments. What do you think? Was this a massive swing that missed or a necessary makeover misunderstood by critics? Let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you in the next one.